So you gotta understand, I'm from Kansas City. Dayton's was our thing. So for me to
Right.
see a limo with Dayton's, and this dude gets out, and guess what? He's the limo driver, got a blue bandana in his. So I'm like,
crip.
I'm like, come rip, and he whistles back. So I'm like, what's up? Who in the limo? Dude says, get in. He was looking for me. This is what changed my life.
And here we go. You're listening to the Kings Can Move On podcast with your hosts, Jason Stewart and Frank Rain.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Kings Can Move On podcast. You got your big boy, Frank the Tank, aka Big Reno, aka my kid's daddy. What's happening?
Your kid's daddy. That's a new one. Okay, big dog. Big Frank the Tank, his kid's daddy. I like that. Boy Jay, the co-host of this great podcast. I'm here tonight too. We got a guest on tonight that Big Frank's gonna introduce.
Yeah, we got a special guest on here tonight, man. I've known this cat since we was kids, that we didn't even realize that we remember this from back in the old Memorial Church, Baptist Church days. And then reconnected back with him when we worked together back out at a big phone store. I ain't giving them no props because shit, they ain't paying us right now. But back in 2012, so about 10 years, we reconnected, man. We got Big Charlie Hustle, aka Mailbox Money, aka Big Chuck, aka Crypto Chuck. He got as many AKAs as I do, man. What's happening, Chuck?
What's going on, man? But I am not your baby daddy. I'm gonna leave that title to Frank, okay? Hey, but I'm hyped, man. I appreciate y'all bringing me on here. I really like what y'all got going on. And you know what? I said the game is not to be sold anymore. It's to be told. So,
baby,
y'all got listening ears. Let's go.
Yeah, man. How's that thing going for you, brother?
Man, life is beautiful. I'm not going to say good. It's beautiful. It's kind of like your shirt. It's real colorful.
Hey,
like, man,
what up? Hey, it may be cold in Kansas City on May or whatever, but shit, I'm shining anyway. I'm still smiling with laughs.
Life really is colorful now, man. I've dove off into the big crypto world. I'm still doing the insurance. No, I was doing that back when we met. You know, I'm leaving one spot to go to another spot. So
that's what's up, bro.
My big brother, he's doing very well in crypto. He's a multi-millionaire, and I kind of just been under his wing for the last 2 years. You know, I've dabbled in probably 10, 15, 20 businesses, man. The kids I ain't never lost. It's just crypto's turned me on. And I like talking to people about money. So the retirement planning, helping people protect their assets, and then really, to be honest, my mission right now, man, is us. Like our skin color, man, we've been, I don't want to say bamboozled, but we've been taught the wrong way of what insurance really means to us as a community.
Yeah. And man, I want you to hit on that because I just heard some shit about insurance that blew my mind a couple weeks ago. And we're going to talk about that. But what I want to do, dog, is I think you have a real interesting story, dude, because you know, one big thing, dog, is when we re-linked back up 10 years ago, you know, you a Crip King. I'm gonna say Crip King, bro. You grew up crippin'. You know, you grew up in that life. You know.
Hey, and the funny part is, man, that my company is from the curb to corporate.
Yeah.
And the main reason is the two fingers and the thumb will never leave, man. That the neighborhood is within me. So yes, my roots originated from LA.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of homeboys out there. old family members. And growing up, that's the only thing I knew was Crippin.
But
And
then go ahead.
you kind of, I'm 44 now, man. So, when I sit back and look at all the shit that I did, man, I'm talking about from really age 12 till I went to college. I mean, the licks, the getting into it with people, just like Bannister Mall, going up there 3 or 4 deep and just looking for
trouble, looking for shit to get into.
Cats that had on Kansas City Chiefs outfits, or in high school going to the center football games because a bunch of Bloods was there, and we gonna pull up deep and we gonna make a scene, and then you start to think about, I'm still here.
Right.
Now I got a lot of homeboys, just for example, from the Crippin era. Number one here is the gang politics from the land, which is LA. For me, LA, way different from here. So I'm not gonna get too deep into that, but you got a lot of people that what I call false flagging. They jumped into the shit because it's popular. Lil Wayne is a Blood, so you start hearing everybody and their mama is a Blood, but in real gang culture, you have to get put on, or you have to go through some sacrifices. I'll just put it that way.
Right. And one thing you said though, one thing you did is, I remember you telling me that you was a hell of a baseball player though, as a kid.
Right. I was gonna tell you what really kind of took me away from that. And man, I want to give a shout out to another homeboy of mine, Jelani. He's from the other side, but he's a very successful truck owner. He's making multiple 6 figures. I'll say that. Yeah. We came up playing baseball together. Man, when we saw a gang shootout down on 9th Street behind the Don Bosco Center, biggest kind of like game changer, we both was like, man, we cold-blooded at baseball. What is the point of us beefing or tripping and we watching these cats? So it kind of was a wake-up call and like, let me focus on baseball. And I was cold. I mean, I had scholarship offers. That's really what landed me at Tennessee State.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, the Title IX hit me when I went to college, lost my baseball scholarship, which led me into business. I met my first millionaire at my freshman year in college. So I don't remember. I was 18, 19 years old. Man, a black brother. Just hear this story out because the shit's crazy to this day. The guy's name is Denson Taylor. Y'all can Google him after this podcast. Y'all see he's a very successful business person. He's been in network marketing since I was 18. I'm 44. Go figure.
Right.
Brother's made millions of dollars, right? He pulls up in front of my dorm, and I'm hustling. I'm still, I'm cripping. It's my freshman year. I'm getting it in. And he pulls up in a limo with Dayton's on it.
How old was he at that time?
Denson had to be 34, 35.
Okay.
So you got to understand, I'm from Kansas City. Dayton's was our thing. So for me to see a limo with Dayton's, and this dude gets out, and guess what? He's the limo driver, got a blue bandana in his. So I'm like
crip.
I'm like, come Crip, and he whistles back. So I'm like, what's up? Who in the limo? Dude says, get in. He was looking for me. This is what changed my life. See, my daddy is a big Q dog. This dude's nephew was a Q on the campus down there.
That's Omega Psi 5. Y'all don't know what Q dog is. Okay, shut up.
The bruh. So how this story goes is I was hustling on campus. His nephew told him, like, man, this dude could sell water to a well. So he tells me, I heard you like that purple and gold, boom, boom. And I'm like, hey, man, my daddy, I'm defending him. He's like, get in, let's talk. He got wine and cheese and grapes. shit I don't know about. You know, nigga, we
Yeah.
Fat Burger and Cheddars and shit like that. White
Right.
Castle coming up. I didn't know what the purpose of having wine, cheese, and grapes was. I still don't know to this day. But we drank. He shows me a magazine. I'm sitting with a dude that's a millionaire, Frank. You know, like I get the chills hearing it because I'm 18, 19 years old. And I'm like, bro, you make $120,000 a month. You in this motherfucking magazine. I'm like, so you gotta understand, this is 97.
Okay.
I meet a black man. All I know how to do was hustle the streets.
Right.
I know a couple million street millionaires, but I mean, they ain't doing nothing now. You know, this brother's still making it, and he has residual money coming in. So he gave me my first book, How to Win Friends and Influence Others. What to say when you talk to yourself. He introduced me to the whole Rich Dad Poor Dad series. He taught me the whole magic of understanding how to adapt to other people's personalities. So I'm still wondering, like, the fuck does this have to do with you making so much money? I'm like, getting to the money. Power is in the people, man. And see, I didn't realize that what he was teaching me was how to read somebody, and what we call in sales now is mirror matching.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So an example,
so if you talking like this, I'm talking like this.
Exactly.
You talking like this, I mean, you start
if
standing
it's
like this.
somebody from New York that talks fast, you talk fast. Things of that nature, right? So I learned how to really get along with everybody. I don't care if you was black, white, any race. And then I had my first taste of success. I was the youngest person in that company to make six figures their first year. I was 19 years old.
If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to subscribe and like us on YouTube, and rate and follow us on your favorite podcast platform.
Flew down to Dallas. Company was Excel Communications, by the way. If you old enough to remember that.
You even had an article written about you.
Yeah, it's probably a bunch of young pups that's watching this, but this is back when long distance wasn't free.
Right.
Back in the days before cell phones, we couldn't talk before 8 o'clock because we didn't have no minutes. So let's go back to when long distance was 10, 12 cents a minute. I was running around college campus, man, just signing up college students, telling them, hey, call your mama, uncle, cousin, brother, sister, everybody back home. I ended up meeting somebody whose uncle in Alabama recruited over 3,000 people below me. That's what took me over six figures. So see, what I'm telling you again is success is never in what you know personally. It ain't. I've been successful multiple times, man. It ain't the shit I know. People will say, oh, man, you a genius. No, I hang around people that are smarter than me, and I'm a sponge. Every day I wake up, man, I'm looking to soak from somewhere. I don't never know it all.
Jay, you know about that old, you know about them long distance working at that MCI, didn't you?
Yeah.
Man, all of that. Us taking MCI out. Excel, us being the first $1 billion company, the fastest to get to $1 billion in history in 4 years. Ain't nobody did that yet. So to do it by word of mouth, that's when I understood the power is in people, man. So I've let that that's how we met.
Yeah.
You know, just continuing to network and learning how to be a people person. I think that's a skill that so many people lack. You know, the being tough, that's where the gang banging shit, you know, that shit is stupid. Like, really, man, you see all these little young cats, man, running around here, they tripping over girls, you know, or money. You know, when you think about that, the government print money every damn day. So why are we fighting over, like, what's in the next man's pocket when they printing up tens of thousands of times of what you tripping over in the street? So again, get better with people.
How'd you transition from the gangbang lifestyle to, I guess, as you put it, the corporate world? What was the turning for you?
So I'm gonna keep it real. As far as the gang banging, I wasn't a banger. like that. So I'm not even gonna put it out there. Yeah, I had a few scruffles, but I was more of the hustler. The whole that's my tattoos are dice. Like I was known for being a gambler or a risk taker. So I've never really had a real job. I mean, bro, from 12, 13 years old, I had paper routes. I said paper routes, not I didn't go get a paper route in Raytown and run it myself. I walked in there and told them if they could give me 4 or 5 routes, I could handle all of them.
Wow.
Because everybody that got off the school bus, shit, we all rode bikes. So why not put everybody on? I've always had the mentality. My mama will tell you, man, I told her when I was young, I'm going to be a boss. Like, I can't. The job mentality, I mean, bro, that's why the only reason we met where we met is because that wasn't really a job.
Mm-hmm.
We were essentially still our own cell phone owners.
Right.
The fact that I could go around and I could get money out these stores whenever I wanted, and I was very good at it. Like you can
No,
verify that.
I'm a hit on this, and he talking about that, but that's some real shit because I can remember when I first got in there, when I first started in there, Chuck had already been in there for a year or two, and I hadn't worked a shift with him yet, but when I worked that shift, this cat came in with a suit, and when I tell you he cut it up. He cut it. He was the one. So we would have to basically share our commissions. But when I tell you that the shifts that I worked with him, he was so charismatic with the customers, with the owner of our stores, and with the employees. This cat was so charismatic that people were drawn to him. He would have people call him that he sold a phone to a year or two previous, and be like, "Hey Chuck, I'm on my way. What store are you at?" And he would tell them what store. And it didn't matter if we was out in Ottawa or in Raytown. They coming out to see him. They're coming out to see him. He was that charismatic and had that aspect. And this is all coming from a cat who was a gangbanger, grew up in the hood, grew up in that shit, and but also had that hustle mentality. Talk about that for a minute, man.
The hustle, that was relentless, man. And that's what I want to tell people. We all wake up with again, I'm not special. People think looking like Michael Jordan special. No, he had a gift. Yeah. Like I might have a gift of discernment, but the hustle is in everybody. Mm-hmm. And what my challenge is now, and not really my challenge, but what my passion is teaching people how to pull that out of themselves. Like it ain't no magical. No. Here's what I want to keep real. Because I've been to all of them, man. The Les Browns, I've been to Brian Tracy. Mm-hmm. I mean, the list can go on. I walked on the damn Cole.
You walked on Cole?
The fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The master motivator. What I'm saying is they all have the same shit in their books. Mm-hmm. So when you start to realize like, damn, how many times do I have to read these books to get up and go do something?
Yeah.
When you really sit back and think about it, it's something within you that clicks that really makes you go. It's not because you picked up another book. It ain't. Yeah. Human nature is something that clicks. It could be some pain, like all of a sudden this time when you picked the book up, what really motivated you was maybe your car ain't been running for 2 or 3 weeks. And that chapter inspired you like, I don't need the car. I got this phone that every salesperson is scared of. I can pick up the phone and put thousands of dollars in my pocket and go buy a new car in 90 days. Instead of bitching and moaning about the car being broke down.
Well, it's 2 ways you can. I'm tired of getting fired.
The point I'm saying is you can choose to succumb to shit that's gonna happen in life. Cause it ain't nobody successful, bro, that can tell you my life's been perfect. Yeah. Like they ain't had a shit storm of hell hit them that, you know what they did? They went through the storm. They didn't stay in that shit. They grew through the storm. See, it's a difference. You can go through a storm or you can grow through a storm. GROW, or you can GO.
Mm-hmm.
But see, when you use a storm, man, because what happens when water hit a seed? It grow, right? Mm-hmm. So if you look at the shit you going through out here, as guess what, man? If not me, it's gonna happen to somebody else.
Right.
And it's how you apply yourself after that shit storm happens to kind of dictate what your life plan is gonna be. And bro, I can say that now because we grew up with a lot of the same people. Mm-hmm. And when you really dig into, somebody can look at you or me and say, man, he's winning, or he don't never lose, or this or that, but they steadily struggling. Mm-hmm. Man, we breathe the same motherfucking air, right. Homie. We've got the same. You got a roof over your head, just like I do. You can think how you decide to think, and again, you can think negative or you can think positive out here. I always choose to look at what can I gain from every situation. I don't give a fuck no more how bad it is, because bro, you know, I've lost a lot.
Yeah.
But I done won 10 times more. And people don't realize you have to lose. You got to fail to sell. Put it that way.
And you got to sell yourself.
The shit is in songs, man. No pain, no gain. Mm-hmm. There's nobody out here that can look you in the eye and say they are highly successful or they are multi-millionaire and they ain't incurred no pain along the way. Nobody can tell you it's been peachy. It's been like your shirt the whole way up. You know, if somebody be lying, man, smack the shit out of somebody. If they say, man, my whole way to success has been like your shirt, Frank, nothing but flowers. No, that's bullshit. A lie.
Yeah. Everybody successful will tell you that they have been through some point of struggle, you know, and that's some real ass talk. One thing that I'll
loss that does not affect me. So that's what else I want to get on. People with jobs, there's nothing wrong with somebody getting up and going to work. But what I'm saying is it's the fear of loss that prevents them from doing something else. Most people know that they are worth more than the job that they go to. Am I right or right?
I think everybody know that.
But then, so why do you clock in and then beat yourself the fuck up because you mad at what you're doing, but you got to do it because you got bills at home and you got to put food on the plate? You can look at it that way, or you can say, let me go knock this punk ass job shit out the way because this is what's going to take care of everything. But when I come home, I'm going to figure some shit out. I'm going to take an hour or two out of my day. Man, do you realize how much, since we're going to keep it real, we fuck off way too much time in our lives, bro. I didn't realize that the older I get is my time is worth more than money. Feel me? I've made $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in a year. I've had, you know, close to $1 million liquid in properties. I've done it multiple times. That don't mean shit because I can do it over and over. But it's like this podcast. We can't get back the time that it's taken to generate this, and it's going to reach a multitude of people. And that, to me, is worth more than the actual money itself. You see what I'm saying?
You can make money, like, but you can't make time.
Exactly, man. Time is irreplaceable, man, but money is. So I think the quicker people realize their time is worth more than they give themselves to all the bullshit situations we have in life. Bro, I ain't just talking about money. I'm talking about if you a dude, all the chick situations we have. Just think about, let's keep it real. Since you was yay high, we knew each other at 12 to 13. Just think about all the women ships, women ships to now.
Right.
How many of them really was fucked up or bad or not healthy? Same thing for the women. How many
men
they wasted
men
on boys? You know what I'm saying? So it goes back to you can't get that time back. Right. So the older we get, if you can compartmentalize that, like have discipline over just that situation, you realize how much more time you got to devote to adding value to the community or society or your kids or your family or people that need it. That's what turns me on now. So and with that, I don't have no money worries. Like,
Mm-hmm.
seriously, it's crazy, man. When you wake up with gratitude and you always thinking positive, I'm not saying be nice to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is when you wake up and you thankful, like just show gratitude for waking up
Right.
and speak positivity into you because you become what you think about, you know. And
Yeah.
and then what you say is kind of like a depiction or a dictation of what you really believe. You know, that's
Right.
why I tell people, man, you can put money in anybody's hands. All more money in people's hands is gonna do is show them who they really are. Money
Mm-hmm.
don't make people, man. People were people without the money. Shit, we all came in this world with nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you got a greedy heart and a greedy spirit, guess what's gonna happen? If I put that same bag of money in your greedy ass, spirited ass hands and put it in my hands, two outcomes are gonna happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
We get to choose on that, man. So that's what matters now. It's like
So
getting
so
that
let me
message to people.
let me ask you this. How did you do that, make that conversion from, because when we all kids and we all younger, young men specific, young black men specifically. When I was young, it was, I left college, it was being out on the block trying to find me some weed and sell it, or find something to sell it, or try to find something to hustle. What would you say to those young cats that are in that transition right now, that is out here on the streets, that is out here struggling job wise? What would you tell a 22-year-old you at this? I mean, well, not even tell you. What would you tell a 22-year-old me, or tell a 22-year-old Jason right
I'm gonna tell you a real life story that I'm not gonna say it changed me,
now?
but it woke shit up for me. Put it that way. So my freshman year in college, right? I was hustling, of course, before I went to school. I didn't stop. I mean, any high school I went to 3 high schools, and everybody will tell you that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
I got money, period. And my freshman year in college, when I came back for the summer, you know, and you'll come back for Thanksgiving break. Guess where my hot ass went? I'm talking about the first year, bro. The first places I'm going to, Jimmy D's on 27. I'm gonna keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
And 36 in college,
Mm-hmm.
41st
Mm-hmm.
and Wabash. This was my
Mm-hmm.
area. So my good buddy, man, Derek, he's dead now. This is why I'm telling you this story. Because I came back one time, man, and I thought, shit, I'm gonna hit the block. I'm not getting a job this summer. I'm gonna get a pack and I'm gonna do what I do. That way I can go back to college caked up. I go down the block this day, right? All the homies is out, and I'm thinking, man, they see Snoop, because back then everybody called me Snoop. I'm thinking, man, they see Snoop pulling up in the blue Chevy. Hey, everything's gonna be good. Bro, they ran me off the block. And I'm talking about out of love. Like, I didn't get it because I was pissed. Like, when I turned on Benton, I'm ready to stop. But my homeboy Derek, you know, he looked at me with a mean mug. I'm pulling up thinking, hey, man, you motherfuckers ain't seen me for a couple of
Mm-hmm.
months because I was steadily coming back. But hey, he's like, cuz, get the fuck on. This was his exact words. And I'm like, nigga, it's me. You tripping. He's like, bro, I said, get the fuck off the block, bro. Like, you got too much shit going on and it's hot as a motherfucker around here. Get off, nigga, before we end up throwing hands. So I'm like, you got
Damn.
me fucked up, bro. But I pulled around. I was really ready to get out and like, nah, this is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
But when I realized, man, I'm a chosen one. If my homeboys had that much respect for me, you know, I've been blessed in that aspect in the streets, bro. It's a lot of shit. A lot of times, man, I should be locked up. And I'm not saying people took the fall for me. It's just I feel like I was one of the chosen ones for real. Whether it was uh me and my partner getting pulled over and the police officer that pulled up got an assistant DA in the back seat. which happens to be my mama's sorority sister. This is real shit that happens. I think I'm going to jail, and then she hops out and is like, Charlie, wake up call. Yeah. It's been so many of these situations that I've dodged and avoided, and I've taken one fall. That was what changed me, is my homeboys telling me that, and then Denson. So you gotta understand, I had just met Denson. I come home for the summer, and I'm still trying to be on both sides of the fence.
Trying to be hood still.
That's what really forced me to the other side. I was like, but I was scared, you know, because it's kind of like when you so used to, I was good, man. I was good at hustling for real. And when you do it for so long, and I really hadn't fell off, I hadn't taken no losses. Like, there's a lot of people that have done that, man. That scares you one way or another. I really was fortunate. So it's kind of like, what changed me for real was me coming home that time, Derek telling me that, and then him getting shot not far after. And then I look at how many of my guys around me are no longer here.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't have a reason to jump on that path anymore. Then, man, when I met Denson, and I'm like, bro, I ain't never known. I'm not saying we didn't have no cats in the street. Everybody had a hood millionaire. But for me to be, nigga, they ain't had no limo.
Right.
You know, they wasn't suited and booted.
Right.
So for me, I'm thinking if I was gonna be a millionaire, this is what it looks like.
Sustainable for years to come.
But this is what it looks like. This is doing it right. Now, I ain't saying you ain't never known no millionaire hustlers like my homeboys, Meech and them, the fan band. They might have did it like that, but man, how many people do you really see like that in the streets that ride around in limos all day long that are successful? It don't happen. So I'm just saying, to see another way of life and be like, damn, you don't have to take these penitentiary chances no more. That was all it took for me. I ain't one of them that had to go to jail for 10, 12, 13 years.
To learn your lesson. It's like, fuck that shit.
I had enough of them around me. And like I said, I took one loss and I had to do a 6-month shock treatment program. That alone, to only come out once a day, you know, bro, that didn't take but a day or two behind the clink to say, this is some bullshit.
Yeah.
This food is fucked up. Like, I don't get to see nothing. Who in the fuck wants to be in here for 10, 12, 15 years? No.
Fuck that.
Again, I'm not saying I'm special. I just believe there's certain triggers in everybody's life, bro. You know, I got some homies that went to jail for 10, 15 years. They didn't came out. They millionaires now. They doing it right. That was their trigger. So this goes back to, everybody has an internal trigger that has to get yanked for you to not convert, but to change. You know,
so how did that get you to your crypto right now? Well, actually, talk to me about crypto. How did you even get into that? Because that's been something that I've been scared to get into for the last couple of years. I've been seeing it, like, I don't know. And Jason just recently started looking at it. So, and I think he's really interested in it.
Let's dive into speed up. You know, I've had 10, 15 years of selling insurance and really just being in network marketing. Me and you done dabbled in a couple of programs.
Right.
So,
right.
But that's been my background, man, is building teams of people, because I believe in the passive deal. You know, I'd rather have 1%, and you know who said that best. J. Paul Gay. I'd rather have 1% of 100 or 1,000 people
than 100% of my
own efforts. And so I believe in that concept. It's the same thing that a CEO does that has a bunch of employees. He's getting a little piece from all of them, and he's the one retiring rich. Not you.
Right.
We got the same power and ability to do that for ourselves. So that led me to Rodney. I'll speed up. Bitcoin Rodney is my big brother. He had an unfortunate past as well. I mean, some people, no, I'm not going to get into all that, but when he got back out, he didn't know nothing about the internet, man, until like 2012. He kind of dilly dabbled in Bitcoin, and you know, back then, man, the shit was new to all of us.
Right.
I mean, you probably wasn't even talking about Bitcoin
at all. Didn't even know nothing about it.
So he just kept saying Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that. He jumped in a program. He also got the gift of gab. You know, he came from the streets. He hit it big in a company, man. So we was talking every weekend, and he's like, "Little bro, if I hit they ass for 300,000 this week, I'm gonna buy a Lambo." I'm like, "Oh, now, this is real shit. Like, we just talking." So my bread ain't that long, bro. So you talking about if I hit their ass for 300,000 this week? Keep in mind, he been inboxing me on Facebook, different colors of Lamborghinis he would want it. You know, that we manifest shit. I done had European everything since I've been 19. His game just a little bit higher. He didn't have Rolls Royces, Bentleys. So when he says buy a Lamborghini, the way we buy cars is credit.
Right.
He's talking about buying it. Just fuck that. If I hit their ass for 300,000+ this week, he's just gonna order it.
Wow.
So peep this. 2 weeks later, he sends me a screenshot. It was like for 379. He goes to Newport Beach. Everybody can Google this story. First man to buy Lamborghini and Bitcoin. My big brother's gonna pull up. Newport Lamborghini in Cali. They flew him out there. He got like some special Lamborghini. Now it's purple and orange. But when you watch the video, it was gray. You know what I'm saying? But the owner of the Lamborghini shop made the video saying, hey, this is the first person that ever paid for a Lamborghini, and he paid for it in Bitcoin. So when you got a video like that on YouTube, the attraction gets there. Now people are like, what the fuck is Bitcoin? Like that, people hear about it, but especially our culture, we just kind of like, man, what the fuck that? If I ain't got cash in my shoebox, no. He kept telling me. So then he came up with the name Bitcoin Rock. This is way back then. He's like, man, you need to be Crypto Chuck. Way back then, which is why I'm now then adopted the name, because now that I'm in the game heavy, you know, but watching him consistently win and making, when I say millions of dollars, like I ain't gonna put a number out there, but the boy's done very well for himself, and he's created he's created over 100 millionaires now.
What would you need to do to start crypto? I mean, like how much, what would a
No, Frank, ask him about Bitcoin Rodney and how he's making millionaires. Because that's what I want to know about.
Go ahead. How he making a millionaire?
That's a good question.
What I was gonna harp on first is it's mindset first. When you understand that crypto, first understand what crypto is. Like, you don't just tell people, hey man, you can take 10,000 to 100,000. No, we have different programs and projects that teach you along the way. So you could be a 0 on a scale of 1 to 10, meaning you don't know shit. You don't even know what blockchain means. You just know you didn't heard Bitcoin out there. I have some projects I'm a part of, man, that will educate you. You can join the platform for free. And then if you want to participate in different projects that will help you earn along the way that are very safe, it's passive. So it doesn't mean that you have to chase coins or look at the market. No, we have projects that are big enough that will allow you to receive daily, kind of like a airline membership. You know, if you have an airline credit card, like Southwest Airlines or whatever, you use a credit card, you accumulate points, right? When you accumulate the points, what do you get to do? Redeem them for what? A free airline ticket?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a couple of different crypto memberships that we're a part of, do the same thing. The membership gets you entry to the platform. The platform has a multitude of videos that teach you everything from A to Z on blockchain, crypto, what is DeFi, what is mining, staking, what is cryptography, what is Web 3.0, what is the metaverse that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, because I still don't know that shit.
What is an NFT?
You don't know that, understand that
from it. Why are people spending $1,000 on a damn Michael Jordan picture of a Jordan that we used to spending $200 or $300 to put them on your shoe. Just understanding why should I change my mindset to buying a physical shoe to this picture?
Okay.
So if you don't know any of that, our platforms literally teach you all that every single day that you choose to log in. Now, here's the beauty. As long as you're part of the platform, it allows you to receive daily rewards, just like the flight membership. Guess what we can do with those daily rewards?
Turn into crypto.
Convert those to crypto. And we teach classes that show you how to convert that crypto to whatever currency around the world you choose to.
So with
States, it could be fiat, but the thing is you don't have to know anything to receive the rewards. As long as you're in there and you learning, like clicking on videos, hey, what is blockchain? And you're educating yourself every single day you wake up, your account is also growing at the same time.
So what you're saying, and we're gonna put your link below so people can look at this and invest in this themselves. But what you're saying is people can learn while they earn.
Boy, if I could high five you through this phone, I would. See, what I'm trying to teach people is, man, take the fear away. I'm not telling people to take $10,000 out your bank account and I'm gonna make you a millionaire overnight. What I'm gonna tell you first is, hey, we got some projects that you could really do well in. But the first thing you gotta do is get educated.
Yeah.
Now you can earn a little bit while you're getting educated, but guess what happens, man? I'm gonna give you this concept. We were at the place that you don't want to mention, right? You remember they training?
Yeah.
They send you to Knoxville or whatever for 2 weeks.
They sent me to Houston. That's when me and Jay was hanging.
Okay, you lucky motherfucker. So you went there for however many X amount of weeks, and then you came and got on the floor.
Right.
Remember that?
Right.
All right. How you think you would have did if Bo and Jose just hired you and threw your ass on the floor to the wolves with customers? And you know how busy them stores were. So imagine just thrown out to Ottawa and you don't know nothing about a rate plan, anything. All you know is they've been saying it's a black dude named Bowtie Chuck. Verizon Bowtie Chuck that's making $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 a month.
Right.
I do that shit because I'm hype. Imagine what you would have done just off of hypeness and not knowing shit about how things work.
Right.
Because the money's there versus going to training first.
Thing is, I would have made money, but it wouldn't have been my money. I would have been making money off other people since we had to share the commissions in the stores, and then my co-workers would have been pissed off at me because I ain't making the ends. Yeah, everybody else making them except me, and I'm learning, like
I tell people it's the same thing in business, man. In this crypto world, if you can learn and don't stress yourself out, meaning you got a job, but if I can show you a couple of passive programs, meaning you don't have to wake up and go tell the world if you don't want to. You don't have to sell nothing. You don't have to do none of that. You can just log in, learn, apply yourself. Your side account is sitting over there. Bang, bang. You got rewards. You want to convert them 3, 4, 5 months down the road, do whatever you want. I know a lot of people, man, that are living great lifestyles from a couple of these projects. And Rodney, since we got back, the way he's created so many millionaires is through these projects. See, his circle of influence is bigger than mine or bigger than yours. So that comes down to, again, the hustle. Are you willing to really do what it takes? And if you're passionate enough about it, are you going to put yourself out there to share it to the world? So like that, kind of like y'all podcast dream, man. That's why I wanted to be on here, because I'm like, man, y'all's vision is awesome. And the more people it reaches, the more people it's going to help. Like, this is game. People need to be taking notes and soaking this shit up. Every time y'all speak, somebody need to be soaking it up. So what Rodney did, I said Rodney did a long bid in the federal penitentiary. When he got out, he knew nothing about YouTube marketing, this podcast shit, none of that. Rodney started making videos saying, hey, this is Rodney Burton. I'm straight from my grandmama's basement on my green couch. That attracted people. They're like, let me watch this motherfucker on this green couch. And then people be like, damn, he's really on the green couch. But then you see he gets in a company like Visalis, makes $300,000-$400,000 in a year. He goes to Organo Gold, makes $400,000 or $500,000 from these green basement videos.
Yeah.
So when people think they have to know it all and be fancy and go rent these high-ass cars, and I laugh at the shit because I'm like, bro, I know people that got straight out the feds and went straight to work. They took the same hustle they had, like me, took that same hustle and applied it somewhere else. That's why, you know, I commend Country Wayne. He said it last week. People that was in the streets are some of the best businessmen, man, the wisest CEOs, because it takes that same hustle and tenacity in the corporate environment. And I think if more people that was in the streets knew that, you know, if it was more of me, because I do that. That's the reason my company is Curb to Corporate is because my dream is to take more people from the curb and realize, bro, if you apply that same hustle, that same game to the corporate world,
right.
Oh God. An example, you in the streets, real quick, you get a bunch of money, right? What are we known for? I'm gonna put this shit in my mama's name, or my girl's name, or my baby mama's name. Bro, that's no different than being in the corporate world and having multiple LLCs that you can hide assets in that prevent you from being sued, so to speak. I'm Charles Jones, but I got 5 different corporations that nobody knows I'm the owner to. All my assets are in there. Same concept of if I go to jail, shit, they ain't taking nothing from me. My mama got the house.
They just have to change that mindset.
So when I can take that mindset and redirect it, the same thing in insurance. When people, I sit down with people and I show them something that's $1,000 a month, and they sticker shock. What the fuck? You have the money. No, I don't. See, they so busy wrapped up in the monotony of the day-to-day shit. Yeah, I can sit down in 30 minutes and show damn near every family how they have $500 to $1,000 sitting around that they didn't know they had. They just redirecting it somewhere else. That's really not that important right now. So then it's a value proposition. It's the same thing. You can take a hustler from the street, give them the same game on the corporate level. It just has to be enticing enough.
So I heard Waka Flocka Flame talking about putting money. He said I can't remember who taught him. Warren Buffett or somebody taught him.
He's put it in life insurance, and he's being
put it in life insurance and put $1 million in life insurance and just borrow off of that. People and people, you ain't got to start with $1 million. People,
well, you don't want to get on my passion tip now. See, this is what I do for a living. See, no, but that's a good example. I tell you, there's some insurance products, and this is why I said my passion earlier was helping our folks, because most of our people buy term life insurance, and they think they the shit because they family got $1 million worth of coverage. That only means something if what? If Frank dies, now my family's millionaires, right? Why not understand that them same insurance companies have products that will allow you, this is the cool part. We all know that most rich people, you mentioned Warren Buffett plays in the stock market, right? Okay, here's some facts. The insurance company has never lost a dime of people's money that are in guaranteed reserves. Like they're the most savvy investors on the planet. This is a fact. 66% of every dollar is ran through some form of insurance. These are facts, right? So if you know they the biggest and baddest investors, and when shit hits a storm out here, like if you study back in history, when we went through the Great Depression, guess who the banks ran to? The insurance companies. Okay, so if you know that, Understand that they're better at making you money than the bank.
Right.
So that's all I try to teach to our people is, look, I'd rather hide behind the insurance company and let them invest my money. And guess what happens? Now they provide to me what's called a floor. They protect me better than the bank.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The insurance company tells me in my contract, if the stock market goes up, you're going to earn interest just like you were in the stock market. But there's a ceiling. What a ceiling means in the investment world is that's a cap on what I can earn. So as an example, if the S&P 500 goes, if my cap is 10%, and this year the S&P 500 returns 17% for investors, I'm only going to make 10. You could be straight in the stock market and make 17. People like, woo, you got to pay taxes on that. You got to pay funds, commissions to whoever set your account up. The bad part on losing now is if the stock market goes down to 10%, negative 10% in 2023, your account takes a hit. Because I hid behind the bank, they give you what's called a floor. My floor is 0. So that means anytime your account goes at 0 or below, your account just doesn't grow.
Right.
So
you don't lose
nothing. You don't lose your principal ever. You don't ever lose the interest that was credited to your account. Here's the biggest part. Let's talk about loans, since you mentioned that. Here's something that's so cold, man. I got some real estate investors that do this, right? Say you got 300 or 400. Now I'm gonna use a real example. Somebody I know has got about $500,000 in their investment account and one of their insurance policies. They're a real estate investor. They found a house in the hood. Something they just did not too long ago. They actually bought the house for $75,000, right? Instead of going to the bank, instead of going to a hard money lender, they borrowed it from their insurance policy. The first advantage of that is, since you're borrowing it from yourself, let me put this in your head. When you go borrow from the bank, what are they doing? They charging you what?
Interest, baby.
So why don't you charge yourself? What you say, why don't you charge your punk ass self interest? When you take a loan from yourself, charge your punk ass self interest. It's your money, right? I'm teaching you, this is game. This is how you double dip.
Yeah.
Here's the second beautiful part. They borrowed the $75,000 from their account. So say you had $500,000 in that account. What happens if you get a line of credit from the bank and you start with $500,000? You take 75 out, you got what left? 425, right? With the insurance company, they give you a floating loan. I'm not gonna go deep into this. What this means is the insurance company will cut me a check for 75,000. If I got 500,000 working, that 75,000 is a floating loan, meaning I still got 500,000 in the market working. You feel me? So if the market returned 10% that year, I'm still gonna make $50,000.
Yeah, you're gonna be at 550
instead of 4 whatever.
Right.
So if I borrow 200,000 out of that 500, it should only be 300,000 working in the market, right? That's not the case in my insurance policy. My own insurance policy works like this. So when you borrow money from yourself, that money is still sitting there gaining interest from the market if the market is up. The whole account value. You can't do this shit at the bank.
Right. So here's what
a hidden secret. So now what happens? You got the 75,000. Say you buy the house, fix it up, you sell it for 150. You doubled your money, right? I'm not telling you to put all that money back in your insurance contract. You'd be kind of dumb not to when I tell you what's gonna happen, but you paid a loan off, right? With interest. So that means your investment account now has more money than when you borrow from it, kind of like the bank, right? That's how they make money off us. They pimp us for that 7, 8, 9%.
Right.
If your parents real fucked up, it's double digits.
Right.
Yourself. Then what happens if the S&P 500 goes up that year? You won 2 times, right? Actually 3. If you bought it to make money from, you didn't have to go to the bank. You didn't have, if your credit could be fucked up, you got access to this capital whenever you want, just like that. They will wire the money to, if you call the insurance company before noon, you'll have the money in your account wired. Or they can just cut you a check. They'll overnight. You pay like 15, 20 bucks extra with some insurance companies. Some will do it as a service. But to have access to that type of capital and be able to bank on yourself instead of letting the banks continue to pimp us with the interest, we can learn to do that for ourselves. And you don't have to have $100,000 to start that with.
I was about to say, we gonna see here what I'm gonna do. But this shit is so this game is so damn tight right now. There's got to be a part 2. So we gonna have you back on real soon, Hustle. And one thing I want to tell people is, you, like he was just about to say, you don't have to start it with 500,000. You don't have to start it with 100,000. You start this shit with 10,000 and
no, not even that. I'm talking about the majority of my clients that I deal with are federal workers, so they work for the VA hospitals, right?
Okay.
They're spending $500 to $1,000 a month, hint, in their pension plan, which is, as an example, for you or the majority of the people watching this that have a job, their 401k. So if you're already putting $400, $500, $600 a month towards something like a 401k, we need to talk.
Right.
And we can discuss why we need to talk in section 2.
There you go.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to break it down, but it can get so deep, and we gotta wrap it up. But Chuck,
let me leave with this then.
Since
we'll break it down next time, but let me leave them with this. This is just a thought, and I'm not gonna get an answer tonight. We can cover it next time. If for all the listeners out there, if you were a farmer, because this is gonna apply to your retirement and what we talk about in the next segment. If you were a farmer, and knowing that every farmer has to go buy seeds to plant out in their field, you have to pay taxes at some point in time. This is a fact. So my question to you is, if you were a farmer, would you rather pay taxes on the seed or would you rather pay taxes on your harvest? Answer that for yourself. And if you think you know the answer, look at where you're putting your money for retirement. I'm willing to bet you if you answer this right, 99.9% of my listeners are putting their money somewhere. Now they're going to look like, why the fuck do I believe this, but I'm putting my money somewhere else? That's what we'll cover in the next video.
I learned that between traditional IRA and a Roth IRA, and listen to the different tax benefits. But man, that's a lot of shit you just kicked down to Chuck. A lot of game you just spit.
Because game to me for G.A.M.E. is guidance above my emotions, man. So if we get out our own motherfucking way and start soaking in this knowledge from everywhere, we all can be a blessing to each other.
Sir,
say it again. Sir. Guidance above what?
My emotions.
Okay, I'm gonna use that shit.
I like
tag for the
I ain't never heard that one before. I like that.
That's what game is. Think it's guidance above my emotions. It's shit I didn't know. So if somebody gives me some game, that's guidance above my own emotions. I might go out on my own emotions and do some shit, but if somebody sprinkles me, man, puts a little wisdom in me, I might go a different route, right? That's all I've been talking about, man, choosing a different route.
That's it. Hey.
Good.
Hey.
Yes.
Give me a rant so we can get the hell out of here.
All right, bro. Hey, man. Big Chuck, Charlie Hustle, bro. Man, I truly appreciate it. When we first started this, I wanted to get you on, and I truly appreciate you coming on. I can't wait for these folks to see part 2 of this and see how they can grow. Young black men, young black women, how they can grow. Young white men, young white women, young Asian. I don't give a fuck who it is. Y'all can grow from everything. Old, young, brand new, old as hell. Don't matter, man. So one thing I want to tell everybody is find your hustle. Find a hustle. Because this brother's been hustling from 12 on, and now at first was it right? No, it wasn't right. But that brother turned it into something that has been a multiple 6-figure income. That brother, ever since I've known that, he has been successful, and you can find that same success too. Everybody can find that same success. You got to put it in your mind and do it. My mama calling me now. I'm gonna tell her about this
Big
podcast.
Chuck,
But
how can they find you, bro? How can they find you?
Tell us how can they find you. Website, and we're gonna put it in the link. We're gonna put it in the link below.
IG, whatever you got.
MrCryptoChuck.com is one website. That's actually they'll get a lot of good information on crypto there. But I'm on Instagram, Mr. Rich Rollin. Facebook, fuck Facebook. Okay. I know we on social media, but man, I'm in jail. I stay in Facebook jail every other week. So they being real sensitive behind the ears, man. But I'm on there also under Charles Jones. I ain't a ghost. Just reach out on them, man. People can DM me. Only way you're going to get my cell phone number is if you're serious about getting to a bag. I don't have time to socialize and all that, but if somebody needs some mentoring, somebody needs some mentoring or wants to add some value to what we talked about, for real, just reach out to one of them and I'll take it through y'all.
Okay, bro. We're going to have your links.
One thing for sure is anything that people can benefit from me, that means y'all got to benefit first. I put that shit out to the world. That's the problem. We don't expose enough of that. So if people gonna call me to win, that means y'all gotta win too. That's why I'd rather they go through y'all to get to me. That way we all win as a big family.
That's called affiliate marketing, sir, and I'm all with it. So with that, Big Frank, Big Chuck, Jay.
Hey, Lil Jay.
Let's move on, y'all. We out. If you enjoyed that episode, don't forget to subscribe and like us on our YouTube channel and rate and follow us on your favorite podcast platform.